Chilling. I feel like we did. You watch In Living Color growing up? Are you old enough for that? Are you a cool enough cat to watch In Living Color?
What's
Uh,
up? We're live. So what were you saying?
oh, for
Oh,
the
for the
second
second
time
time.
on the
On the
remix.
remix.
So I was asking if you watched In Living Color or if that was kind of before your days.
No, I watched some growing up. Like I said, man, before we didn't have the whole TV thing going on.
Oh, right. I forgot you said that. So I was gonna say, man, like we need our own fly girls
Our
and
own
like
fly
and
girls.
like some rappers to like introduce the show. Like we'll find like the next Jennifer Lopez and have her dancing in, skimpy outfits, being a fly girl too.
So this is the Slightly Nocturnal show. I'm Doc Holliday, and I'm joined by Bo Machado. Today is December 19th, 2016. Play a little intro, and then we'll get into the show here. All right. So you want some like Biggie Smalls rap girls? Is that what you want?
Oh yeah, doesn't everybody want that? Isn't that how like every guy wants to come out on the stage like to that to start a show?
I don't know if I'd want. I don't know. I don't know if that's like something that like
No.
turns me
So
on
you,
or I don't know.
I'm not talking about being turned on. I'm talking about
Well,
like
I don't mean sexually.
for
I'm
the
just saying like I don't know if
atmosphere of
that
it. You
like
know what I mean?
I don't know if that pumps me up or not. I like good music.
No.
Good music pumps
Yes,
me up.
you'd have good music playing, and you'd have like choreographed dancers.
Nah, I don't think that's me. That's not me.
That's not you.
Mm-mm.
Oh, all right. So you would have guys wearing hammer pants.
That's right, man. I could go for that. Can't touch this. All right, so I guess we better just knock this out of the way. The Russian ambassador assassination today. Good God, fucking dude is on stage giving his little spiel at some kind of art studio, and a guy behind him just fucking whacks him. Just fucking shoots him in the back. Then starts saying a bunch of crazy shit. So, what are your
What did he
thoughts
do?
on
Did he
that?
holler Wolverines after he did that?
No, he did not. He
Oh,
did
okay.
not. Oh, he said something, something
He
about,
hollered like about Aleppo or something, right?
yeah, if they're going to die in Aleppo, you're going to die here, that kind of shit. So,
Yeah.
of course, I later on in the day, I saw a big picture of Vladimir Putin that said, I guess I'm having turkey for Christmas.
Oh, jeez.
So, not a good thing. Not a good thing to happen today. The other big thing today, of course, is the Electoral College is going to voted officially today. So,
Yeah, and Trump officially is the president-elect, correct?
the official results will not come out until sometime
Oh,
in
okay.
January. They'll be presented to Congress, but
I
I haven't
said
heard anything.
304 count.
I haven't heard anything like any waves. So I really don't. I think
Yeah.
that he's probably officially the president elect now.
Say the last numbers I saw had him at 304 and Hillary at 169.
So congrats to President elect Donald Trump.
Yeah.
All the naysayers, you can shut your mouths now, whether you agree or not. This is what's going to happen. And whether we are all happy or not, I'm sorry, but this is the deal now. So, and we'll jump into a little bit more of that today. If you watch my Ring the Bell episode today, you know that I had something to say about all that. So, and if you don't know, I'll probably be presenting Ring the Bell 3 times a week, where I'll talk about news stories like that briefly, and then of course what we'll do is we'll discuss them here in depth on the Slightly Nocturnal show. Alrighty, so
Maybe you need the dancers on Ring the Bell. Like maybe that's where the fly girls should be. I feel
I
like
got
something
up
like that.
super fucking early to work on that video today, and a bunch of shit happened, and it did not get done till late this afternoon. I was really pissed off about that. I did. I got up at like 5 o'clock this morning to start working on that shit. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, and I think I went to bed right around 2. So I'm exhausted, and I was perturbed for the better part of the morning.
So you forgot to hit that world pause button, so that nothing new would happen after you recorded an episode.
Well, and I didn't. Yeah, after we were done, that was in the middle of it is when all that Russian ambassador shit happened. So it was not a good morning this morning. I was ready to fucking raise hell and fire people left and right. So, anyways,
Jeez.
yeah, it was not a good morning. All right, so let's just jump into sports, get that hammered out because there's lots of shit that happened this weekend.
There's a lot of shit that happened in sports. Where do you want to start with? You want to start with Bernard Hopkins getting knocked out of the ring?
Dude, what the fuck, man? Like this, like. Okay, so 2 fighters this weekend. It was their like retirement fights. Bernard Hopkins
Both
being
are
one of them.
living legends too. You know what I mean? Like they've had long, successful careers.
Bernard Hopkins fought in boxing, and then Uriah Faber went out. He's retired. Uriah, of course, won his fight, and Bernard gets knocked out of the ring. So I have 2 things about this. So I almost after I watched the Uriah Faber fight, I want to say that guy didn't let Uriah win, but I think he could have. He's a better fighter than that, and I think he could have put up a better time. So I don't want to say he let Uriah win, but maybe he did. So, and that same thing goes for this guy.
So wait a minute, the fix was in? Wow.
So, Uriah, there's nothing against Uriah. He's an awesome fighter and always has been. But that guy he fought, him and that dude were buddies. There got to be a point in like the 3rd round where I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on? This guy is like letting him just walk all over him right now. And maybe he was tired as fuck too. I don't know. So
maybe.
But this Bernard Hopkins fight, like this guy was not letting Bernard go out on a good note, like at all. He got fucking destroyed. So.
Well, I mean, they battled for. I mean, some of the rounds went back and forth. So I thought Hopkins was hanging in there. Now he got destroyed when he got knocked through the ropes. He got destroyed to the point that he thought he got pushed through the ropes. None of those fists was a push. Those were squarely landed punches.
Now remind me of the gentleman's name that he fought in the ring. Who was that Bernard fought?
Let me look that up real quick. I should have had that fresh in my head because I watched the fight not long ago on HBO.
I just couldn't believe it. Like I like watched a replay of. I was like, "What the fuck? This is this guy's last fight, and this is what happens."
But he picked. He handpicked that guy for that fight too. After he had watched that guy upset another top fighter. You know what I mean?
And to Bernard's credit, he's like what, 51 years old?
He was turning 52. Yeah,
52. Yeah. So. Bernard Hopkins, that's it. By no means is he's a bad motherfucker, and I wouldn't get in the ring with him. Like I wouldn't.
Oh, he's a Hall of Fame boxer. I mean, far and away.
I'd have loved to seen Joe Rogan's reaction to that fight. Joe is a huge boxing fanatic, and I'm sure he watched the fight. But goddamn. Anyways,
and to Hopkins' credit, he went down in history as being at age 49 the oldest man to hold a world title. So, I mean, that tells you how accomplished this guy was. I think overall, 55 wins and only 8 defeats and 2 draws. So and he started fighting when Reagan was president. So, I mean, that's an illustrious career.
Yeah. I just want to point out real quick too. Somebody's asking about the viewer count. I don't know what the fuck happened on YouTube. We're discussing that with them right now. We've got an inquiry in with them. So it looks like a bunch of our views went the fuck away. And if you didn't know, we were featured on another podcast. I don't know, 4 or 5 days. Well, probably about a week ago now. And I would probably account to that being the reason that we had such a up jump in viewers. So just keep viewing the videos, guys. Keep sharing them with your friends. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's obviously working. I don't know why YouTube didn't like it. They took away all our views. So, but we're gonna get it squared away. So no worries there. we did get paid for all those views, so no, it's not like they didn't happen. YouTube has gonna have to answer for that. We got money for it, so you're gonna have to.
Well,
they're gonna have to
thing.
tell us something.
Nobody wants to return money before Christmas, so
right.
That ain't a good present.
Fuck that. No. So.
I don't know. I was like a kid in a candy store. For anybody who was watching, I was texting Doc and I was watching. Like I'd go in and out of the thing to watch all the views jumping up.
It was fun to watch. It was So I really want them back. We're almost at 200 at on the last episode. So I like to see those views come back. So again, just keep sharing it with your folks, man, your friends, anybody that you know. Tell them to go and stop by the channel and watch. And if they don't like it, tell them to tell us why they don't like it. Interact with us. Be glad to answer any questions. All right, so back on to sports. So yeah, fucking Bernard lost his fight, and then yeah, that was a shame. I didn't like seeing that. I didn't like seeing it either. I thought that because during some of the fight, it looked like he was like struggling. Then it looked like he was able to turn it on. So what's happened is, he's not young anymore. So he had to basically go in and out of hibernation. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So he had to try to reserve power so that he could, throw a bunch of blasts and then duck back in. And I thought he was doing a good job. ESPN, I think, even had him winning the fight 67-66. But either way, all the cards had the fight very tight
until the fucking popped out of the ring.
Right, and right.
So how does that work in boxing? If you get knocked out of the ring, like, tell me about the rules that start to take place.
So the way it's set up is they can do like a standing 20 count. So you can be counted out. So you could basically get back in the ring, the ref could check you out, and the fight could be resumed. If you are like injured and can't fight, they can always call it like a no decision. Or in this case, I guess the way they saw it, he was punched out of the ring, and so he was counted out, and they awarded a TKO.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how they determine how they're going to do what. I know in one of Hopkins' earlier fights, there was like a no decision when he was like pushed or fell out of the ring and injured his ankle in the past. And that fight was kind of I think was called a no decision. But this particular fight, I guess the referee felt like he had been knocked out of the thing. So he said that he hit his head and injured his ankle in the fall. So no matter what, he couldn't have continued the fight.
All right. Coach, we had the UFC free fight. Like I said, Uriah Faber won his retirement fight. And then the Karate Hottie beat up. She won her fight, which was, I thought, a good thing. So I read today, though, that, what's her name? Van Zandt? Somebody is saying that she's going to, there was some, I think it was on ESPN, said that she would do better if she went to the WWE now. I guess there's been some talk about that. So
I don't know. She's only 24, right?
Yeah.
And she's like 4-2.
Yeah. They were saying for the preservation of her career, she should go to the WWE. So
I don't know,
which is wrestling, fake wrestling, So I wouldn't want to see that. I guess people think that she's hot enough to be in the WWE. So
sure. Well, I think she probably is. But I think that she also is a solid enough fighter right now that if she works on her game, I mean, it's not like she lost to a scrub or anything.
No, and she didn't lose. Like, she didn't get knocked the fuck out. She got choked out. So
yeah,
these things.
And there's
happen.
no shame in that.
No, these things happen. They do. So I just, she was huge. She's huge on Dancing with the Stars. I know she's got a big deal there. So which I don't think hinders her in any way, training wise. People were saying that it's going to hinder her fighting, and this is why she lost. I'm thinking, like, if you know anything about at cardio or anything athletic wise,
right?
That kind of any kind of practice dancing wise like that has got to be fucking a workout.
Well, and I didn't know this, but I saw her on Colin Cowherd's show on over on Fox Sports 1, The Herd, and on there she was talking about her mom was actually a professional dancer and a dance instructor, so she's been dancing a long time. So for her, it's probably some part of her normal training regimen to do some of the
She's
dances.
in
You know what I
great
mean?
shape at all. I didn't think that.
Yeah.
I watched the fight, and I didn't think that training had anything to do, like cardio or, anything like
No.
that had to do with why she lost that fight. So,
She just got caught by a talented fighter.
yep, she
Sometimes
did.
you just get caught.
So, I also was
Like,
reading today while we're talking about the UFC. I guess,
mhm.
um, Anderson Silva. Now, fuck Anderson Silva. He's a great fighter, but he's a horrible person. And I guess he was.
I just think he should speak English in his interviews.
I think I agree. That's like one of the things that
He's
disgusts me.
capable, so do it.
Yeah, this is the guy. If you don't know, Anderson Silva, he gets on after all his wins, and Joe wants to talk to him, or whoever the fuck wants to talk to him at the end of the fight. He knows how to speak English very, very well. Like it's not a struggle for him, and he'll get on this. He'll get the microphone and have a translator translate for him, it's just fucking crazy. Like he's just an arrogant fuck. But I guess he's been calling out Michael Bisping, and because Bisping, of course, beat him. And
The count.
Yep. Saying that he did all this shit, and so I don't know if there was going to be another fight between them two. That would be interesting to see because Bisping won a decision over him versus knocking him out or anything like that. So
Right.
I'd really like to see Chael Sonnen fight him again, but I don't think either one of those guys are probably capable of getting back in the ring right now. So
No, well, wasn't Chael gonna fight your man Tito?
yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
that's a forthcoming fight, right?
Yeah, it is. So, but I don't think Chael Sonnen. I think he had that fight locked up until the end. Something just happened. I got caught at the end of the fight.
Yeah.
It was like and it was well before what's his face took the belt from him and then beat him again. I can't remember the gentleman's name now. Who doesn't have the belt right now either? He lost it too. But Chael was like
Chris Weidman.
Yeah, Chris
Weidman.
Chael Sonnen was like the first guy to ever figure out fucking Anderson Silva in the ring. Like he beat his ass for fucking like 5 rounds. Like just beat his ass, and then he just got caught. Like it was fucking over. But and I think that
But
paved
Silva
the way.
caught a lot of people.
He did. I think that paved the way though for Chris Weidman to figure out. He did. He had Anderson Silva's number.
Oh yeah.
Twice, and then he broke his leg. So
Yep. Yeah, that was vicious.
it was nasty. So I think that's probably the end of Anderson Silva. That's gonna be it for him in the UFC. I know he still competes in his jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. So
Right.
he was a great
He's
fighter.
over 40 too. So
was-
I mean,
he wa-
at some point.
Yeah, he was a great fighter. I'm glad to see him gone from the UFC because basically I'm tired of seeing him whoop people's asses over and over again.
I think what he landed, like 78% of his shots he landed on people.
He was a phenomenal fighter. He really was. He's just an asshole in real life. So don't get me wrong. I really think he's very talented.
I don't know how much of an asshole he is, but I would like to see him, speak the English that he's capable of speaking fluently.
How is that not?
That's my only gripe.
That makes him an asshole right there.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe he's got some homeboy that's on the payroll, and he's like, "This guy's got to do something to earn this money." like if you took me around with you and you're like, okay, you're gonna have to translate this for me. Then then that would be my role
Oh my God.
in the entourage.
Oh my God.
So maybe he just had a homeboy from Brazil that he was trying to help keep that guy's wife and kids fed.
I refuse to even think about that. Fuck that noise.
I mean, that's probably not what was happening.
You are just too nice of a guy sometimes. Oh my God. Oh my God. You just don't like to see shit for the way it needs to be seen.
Oh, I don't know. I just see the humor in him doing that for that reason.
Excuse me. So what else so let's talk about the NFL then.
Okay. All right. What do you want to run through, the sports or the initial Gus Bradley firing after they blew the game?
Yeah, we can.
So the Jaguars fired Gus Bradley after blowing I think they had a 14-point lead at one point over the Houston Texans, and they blew that lead and lost. And so Bradley was fired, and
do you
Doug
think
Marrone,
that though? Like, so I heard a couple things today about that. I heard that was not the coach's fault, but again, it's the coach. That's his team. So who else can you lay the blame on? Unless
not
you just
only that.
had like scrub players or good players do scrub things.
I mean, let's look at his overall record. Let me Google that real quick so I can tell you how many wins they've had.
And I
under
guess
his tenure.
Marrone is the new coach, the interim coach.
Yeah, and he was actually a head coach of the Buffalo Bills, and he stepped down.
Why did he step down? Do you know the reasons behind that? Was it because of their
Um,
win-loss record?
I
Or?
I don't know. Well, I mean, they were going in the right direction when he was their coach, but he just, I don't know, maybe just a dysfunction of Buffalo. I mean, it's been a long time since they've been a winner,
I've heard it's
really
a
since those
hard,
the Jim
hard
Kelly
team to
team.
coach at. Like,
Well, now, even now, not that Rex Ryan has done a, super fabulous job, but there's talk right now that they're thinking about firing him at the end of the season.
yeah, I don't see them. I don't see them keeping Rex, but that's just me.
Yeah. So Gus Bradley's overall record was 14-48 in 3+ seasons.
Phew, it's
So
abysmal.
he has a 226 win percentage.
Fucking
You know what I mean?
abysmal record. Jesus.
So I think that there was obviously more to it than this particular game. I think this game was just the final, like, we got to do
The
something.
icing on the cake, baby. The
Yeah,
straw that
yeah.
broke that camel's back.
So, and I think Gus Bradley, we'll see him back in the NFL as a defensive coordinator again, where he made his hay before he got that job because he was the Seahawks D coordinator um, when they started the Legion of Boom. So,
I don't think Marone will be the head coach come next year. He might take the
no.
team through the rest of the year, but that'll be it.
Well,
So
I think he will. Well, unless they bring back Tom Coughlin, who's basically a free agent in the coaching carousel right now, unless they bring him back now, which they could since he's not coaching with somebody, then I see Marone getting these last couple games. And you have to wonder, like, if they play really well in both of these games, and Marone had the Bills at one point going in the right direction, do the Jags just say, "Hey, this is our guy. He's been here. He knows our personnel. We looked really good in these last 2 games of the season with him."
let's
And
see
do they
how he
give him
does
like,
next year.
yeah,
Give him 6
yeah,
games or 8 games.
well, give him a year, depending on what candidates they could potentially get besides him, because that's
I
the other
see the
thing.
NFL though; they don't like to give like whole seasons out to coaches. It seems like they like if
Um,
you know.
yeah,
I
I mean
don't.
that's true.
They have a long season too, so I feel like they have some kind of, you know, what do you call it, leeway in that situation. I don't know. Maybe they give him a year. Hopefully, they give him a year if they decide to give him the
Yeah,
coaching
I
job.
mean, I just look at it and I say, so basically, between the Rams and the Jaguars, which is a more attractive opening? I think LA is a more attractive opening.
I
They have a
agree.
better defense right now. They have Todd Gurley, who last year was like the rookie of the year. Um, they had the number one. Not that Jared Goff has looked like a number one overall pick right now, but who's to say with the right coaching that's not, there's a reason a guy is a number one pick. Um, so I think they have a lot of pieces in LA. Plus, it's LA. You got Hollywood and all of those kind of things. So you figure you can appeal to free agents, whereas Jacksonville is what, the fourth famous city in Florida?
Probably
I
not
mean,
fourth. It's probably number 10. There's lots better
yeah,
places to live in Florida
you,
besides
you know what I
goddamn
mean?
Jacksonville. Yeah.
And nothing against Jacksonville. I have a good friend that lives down there, and she's a realtor. But still, it's Jacksonville versus LA. So number one, I don't think that they're going to have the top pick of whoever maybe they potentially want. And then number two is who is it they would want? Do they want to steal Jim Harbaugh from Michigan? Well, that's probably not going to happen. Do they want to take Josh McDaniels from the Patriots staff? I don't know that Josh would want to go down there, although they have great receivers. At least they did last year. This year they didn't look so great. And Blake Bortles last year looked good, and this year looked very mediocre at best. So I don't know who they're attracting to.
When do you think old cheating Bill Belichick is going to leave and retire?
First of all, that's probably the greatest coach in NFL history.
No, wrong, false.
I don't know, man. How many coaches dealt with free agency and the other things that the Patriots have endured and had the kind of success that Belichick has had throughout?
Endured. Well, you've seen how he's endured with it. He's cheated, so twicey,
Still got to play and win those games, man.
twicey.
Still got to play and win those games. Anything that he did, somebody else could have been doing too, and
No,
just not getting
I'm
caught.
thinking that's probably very valid. He's just bad at cheating. That's all.
That could very well be. That could very well be.
So, no, he's a good coach. He is. I just think it's time for him to go on, move on,
So
be with your
I
family.
personally think that he's the greatest head coach in the NFL. probably of all time, because of the way the NFL has changed. Any other great coach we talk about basically got to bring in the best players from the draft, got to keep their team together throughout the entire tenure. You know what I mean? There was no free agency. There were none of these things that happen in modern football. So if you had a good team like Chuck Noll did in Pittsburgh or Bill Walsh did in San Francisco, well, you had a shit ton of all pros on your team that weren't going anywhere in free agency. You know, Belichick has dealt with free agency probably better than any other head coach. He has a weekly game plan that adapts to the strength of his players and the weakness of the team they play, which is what a coach should do. But most NFL coaches seem to have a scheme that they want to run regardless of personnel or team they play. So I feel like this guy's the greatest head coach ever in the NFL.
Well, good. We're glad you feel that.
And I'm a Denver Broncos fan, so that hurts my heart to say that.
We're glad you feel that way. But I disagree. But that's okay.
Right, yeah. I mean, if you want to be incorrect, it's as I tell you every time you disagree with me.
Oh, my God.
Feel free to be incorrect.
I wanted to come through the phone last night and fucking throat punch you for saying that shit. Oh, my God. All right, so let's talk about the games then this week.
All right, you want the scores?
Yep.
Let me pull them up real quick here.
Well, I got them right here. Let's see.
So this started with the now Jeff Fisherless Rams getting beat by Seattle 24-3 on Thursday night when we were having the podcast of our lives.
We were, goddammit.
which YouTube has stolen our views when I looked at those pretty numbers. The Miami Dolphins then played on Saturday night, which the NFL Network, so maybe you can explain this to me. So they had Thursday night football on Saturday night. Why the fuck is it not Saturday night football?
It is a contractual thing. That is why, sir.
All right. See, I knew you would know this. See, because to me, that's Saturday night football. I think you could play Thursday night football on Thursday night, but it's pretty hard to play Thursday night football on any other night of the week.
And the reason is they're contracted out for so many games a year.
Okay.
On that network with that title, and that's why.
Okay. So on Saturday night football, the Miami Dolphins beat the New York Jets 34-13. Then we did get to Sunday, the normal day for football, and Green Bay, with Aaron Rodgers having some clutch passing, and Ty Montgomery, wide receiver, playing superstar running back, defeated the Chicago Bears 30-27.
The Bears lost.
Yep, they did not bear down.
God damn, they started a comeback though in that fourth quarter. I watched some of that.
Oh, they did look all right. They looked all right.
They looked like they wanted to win that game bad. They scored 17 fucking points.
Yep. Then Jacksonville, as I mentioned earlier, lost to Houston. Now, the big story from this game, besides Gus Bradley getting fired, is Brock Osweiler, the $72 million free agent quarterback that Houston stole from my Denver Broncos, got benched. And the crowd cheered so loudly that the running back, Lamar Miller, had to come out of the huddle and hush the crowd so that the backup quarterback could call a play in the huddle. And that backup quarterback is Tom Savage, who was named this week's starter. So Brock Osweiler, the free agent gem of the Houston Texans, is now the backup quarterback.
He is the Pine Rider.
Yeah, so I think he's guaranteed $37 million over the first 2 years of the deal. So that is one high-priced backup.
And
so
it's
Houston
not like the
Jaguars
lost handedly. It was a 1 point fucking game.
No, right, 21-20. Yep, Houston won 21-20. But
Jacksonville didn't score any fucking points in the fourth quarter, right?
Right. Well, and once Tom Savage took over at quarterback, I think when Osweiler left, he had completed 11 passes for 48 yards and had 2 interceptions.
Savage threw for almost 300 yards, right?
Savage did throw for almost 300 yards as well as a couple touchdowns. Yep. So looked significantly better. And I think he's going to make $300,000 this year. So.
Which ain't nothing to scoff at.
No, I'd be happy.
But he'll be asking for more money next year.
But that is not $37 million.
Believe you me, he will be asking for more money, and he might be asking for more money before the season's up.
So yeah, I don't know how you negotiate that, but I'm sure
Waivers.
I'm sure he is going to put on a show in his last few games of
Oh,
the
he's
season,
gonna.
and
He
and
went
then
home and fucking dusted off his try hard panties and starched those bad boys up.
well,
You know he did.
I will say this about him. Do you know who Gus
Yeah,
Brandt,
yeah, yeah. I know who you're
Gil
talking
Brandt?
about.
Do you know who Gil
I know
Brandt
who you're
is?
talking about. Yeah.
So NFL Network. So Gil Brandt, when Tom Savage was coming out of Pittsburgh, actually compared him to Troy Aikman. So now Gil Brandt had been a long time Cowboy scout and had actually scouted Aikman, and is well known to folks fans of the NFL that listen to NFL Network on like Sirius Radio and things like that, and read about the draft and things like that. So Gil Brandt was kind of singing his praises when he was coming out of Pittsburgh, and he looked very much like a Troy Aikman style quarterback as he was delivering sharp passes all over the field with accuracy. So maybe one of those late round draft picks, a diamond in the rough, and maybe the Texans got lucky.
You see that more and more though, right? Lately, like especially in the last couple
Yeah,
of years, you see
yeah,
these guys that were amazing college athletes and they get in the pros. It's a fucking different ball game. I mean, literally, it is a different game. Like some of them succeed, but I see more and more of them not succeed as well as others that are further back in the draft that become superstars.
right. Well, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to develop. And the guys that are drafted later are given more developmental time because they don't have the same expectations thrust on them so early,
I agree.
you
I
know?
agree. Yeah.
So, um, Buffalo beat Cleveland 33-13, keeping the Browns winless.
Big surprise there.
Baltimore defeated the Eagles 27-26. I think
Keeping
the
their
Eagles went for a
playoffs,
two-point conversion,
keeping their playoff
and that
hopes
cost them.
alive.
Yep. The Tennessee Titans traveled on the road to Arrowhead Stadium, where they upset the Kansas City Chiefs 19-17, and that
That's a
was
big
significant to
win. That's
the.
a big
It
win
was a
for them.
huge win. It was a huge win and significant because it thrust the Oakland Raiders, who beat the San Diego Chargers by a score of 19-16. It thrust Oakland into the playoffs for the first time since 2002. So congratulations to the Raiders, who will see the postseason for the first time in over a decade. The New York Giants beat the Lions 17-6. The Indianapolis Colts beat Minnesota 34-6, and I think it was even in Minnesota. And so the Vikings, who were the last undefeated team of the season at 5-0, have really been on a slide and are not very likely to make the playoffs right now. Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati 24-20. New Orleans beat Arizona 48-41. And that was a pretty good game. A lot of back and forth. Atlanta beat San Francisco 41-13. New England.
49ers, man, they're having just about as bad
I
season as
told
the
you
Browns, man.
they
God
got
damn.
that one win, man, and their one win was against that Jeff Fisher coached Rams team. It's tough. So the New England Patriots defeated my Denver Broncos 16-3 in a game that ended in a shouting match in the locker room between the defensive secondary and the offensive line. So things are starting to get a little bit ugly in Denver as that loss drops them into ninth in the AFC playoff seeding, and they've got to run the table, which means they have to beat Kansas City and Oakland in the final two games to potentially jump up into a wild card playoff spot. So makes making the playoffs a lot more difficult of a task for the defending champion Denver Broncos. Um, and then Dallas, the Doc's team here,
Oh, wait a
managed to
second.
hold on.
The
Hold on.
Raiders,
Oh,
they
go ahead.
won. The Raiders, they beat
Yeah.
the Chargers. So we talked
Oh,
about
yeah. I
that.
said that earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I said it when I was talking about the Kansas City
Okay.
game. So I skipped it on the scoreboard. Man, you got to keep up. I'm fast. Then
Yes, and my Cowboys won.
yep. Then the Cowboys they managed to win 26-20. Prescott looked fairly impressive against the hot Tampa Bay defense. So I guess the calls for Romo for at least a week will go away.
Jesus Christ.
So
Romo's not coming back, bud. Sorry to. And any other
I'm
Dallas
not the one
fans?
who's hollering for Romo.
One loss and
And
people start screaming. Do you guys
yeah,
remember?
there was a big.
Do you remember what the fuck we dealt with for the last 10 years with Romo?
Well, there was a big article about how Jerry Jones was helping fan the flames of the Romo calls. I don't remember. I don't remember who wrote
Really?
it, but yeah, it was a big article on the web today. So come on, Jerry, be better than that, bud.
God damn.
You don't want to undercut your coaches for
Well,
the
this is just
the
how
100th
Dallas
time
is.
of your
This is
tenure.
how Dallas is run. Jerry Jones is the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. If nobody knows, Jerry Jones is the owner / coach of the Dallas Cowboys
Slash GM.
/ everything. Defensive
Right.
coordinator, offensive coordinator, special
Party
teams,
planner.
stadium builder, all these good things.
Right,
Cheerleader picker.
right. He's gonna help us pick our fly girls out.
That's right. Oh my god. He always reminds me of what's his face from the Playboy. Like that's who
Hugh Hefner.
Jerry Jones is Hugh Hefner of the NFL, man. Like that's who he is.
So you got a little bit of a celebrity. Have you been to the mansion yet?
No, I have not been to the mansion.
Oh,
and I don't plan
have
on
that
going.
much celebrity.
I don't plan on going to the celebrity.
Like if you had the chance to go like one time, you wouldn't go to the mansion?
Oh, I would go. Yeah, I would go. Yeah, absolutely. I would go.
Right.
And I would party my ass off.
Well, I would hope so. It's the Playboy Mansion.
I would do it. I mean, would
What
you
I
go?
would want you to do.
Wait a second now. So a better question is, you're married. Would you go?
Right. Of course.
Yes. There we go.
Of course I would.
You behave.
And
yourself.
I'd be there to watch you karate kick the monkey cage open like you were Ralph Macchio.
Nope, I'm
in
not
an
getting
episode of
banned for life.
Entourage.
I'm not getting banned for life. But yes, I would definitely go to the Playboy Mansion. Who wouldn't go to the Playboy Mansion, right? It's the Playboy Mansion.
I mean, there's probably somebody that wouldn't. I don't know anybody.
Hardcore Christians that don't like pornography and boobs. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a PG-13 room somewhere there.
I'm sure.
Yeah. It's kid-friendly romping area.
It would just be cool to go, even if you went and took a tour, For
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Versus like a party, I would do that too. So.
Yeah.
All right, what else in sports, man? Tim Duncan, right?
Let's see.
Fucking retired his number last night.
So Tim Duncan, they had a nice retirement ceremony for him, number 21, the big fundamental. I think they spent about an hour doing like the speeches and all that kind of stuff, which is well deserved. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
So the last superstar of my era of basketball players, who hung it up after this past season. I think 5-time NBA champion, countless time All-Star. I'm sure he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And really like one of the few superstars that was certainly more about team than individual. So he seemed to always be about the collective. It seemed to be a really grounded person throughout his run at Wake Forest, back when Wake Forest still had a really dominant basketball program. And then throughout his tenure with the San Antonio Spurs. So always seemed to be a very classy individual. And they're basically the New England Patriots of the NBA world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that organization seems to be first class all the way. And lots of winning. With no, and I think Duncan being their superstar and being a collective guy versus an individual guy kind of helped set that tone, and the like no individual is greater than the team. And I think Tom Brady in New England helped set that tone.
Yeah.
So
I want to talk about real quick. So a guy who played for Duke, what you call it?
Shane Battier?
No. No, what the fuck? Oh, Carl Boozer. So I found out.
Oh,
today,
Carlos.
I found out today. I didn't know this. I found out. He played for Duke.
He used to use shoe shine on his head.
No.
That's a true story. Read about that.
I have heard that before. But he played for fucking the Cavs and then the Jazz and then
He was on the Bulls for a minute.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Like, I lost all respect for fucking Carl Boozer when he decided to play
What?
for the fucking god awful Chicago Bulls. So,
That's ridiculous.
But he's
I lost
playing
all
on it.
respect for him when he played so piss poor for the Chicago Bulls.
So he's playing for a Chinese basketball team now. I didn't know this.
Hey, making that money, man. That's
I
where
guess.
those guys go.
I didn't know this was like a big deal, but this is apparently a big deal. So
Basketball is huge in China.
I knew it was big over there, but I didn't know. I mean, like, so I did a little research about it today, and it's like
Stephon Marbury's over there.
It's almost as big as the goddamn NBA here in the U.S. Like, in fact,
certainly.
I would say it's bigger because they have more respect for their basketball players there.
Well, and they don't have the NFL. They don't have Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Although in Japan, baseball is huge, but that's Japan and not China.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been huge over there, and that's the one thing the NBA did, even though the NFL kind of took the #1 spot in America away from them. The NBA was a global game, like very early on. Once the Dream Team happened,
yeah,
and like all of that went down, and what was that, 92? Yeah. Then, I mean, basketball became much like soccer and became a world sport. In fact, those two sports are probably the two biggest sports in the world. And China definitely, they picked up basketball. And I don't think it hurt that Yao Ming was a viable superstar in the NBA.
No, I don't think so either. I just was surprised to see that he's not in the NBA anymore. I guess he's just a mediocre player. So, but that was like the first big time. I remember that because that was when I first got into Duke basketball. He was on Coach K's. They won the Final Four that year with that team. So
he was the Alaskan sensation that came after Trajan Langdon, because Trajan Langdon was the first Alaskan sensation the Duke Blue Devils had.
Yeah, so it's just sad to see old Boozer, man. He played his fucking heart out for Coach K. I remember watching them games as a kid, so. Well, probably as a teenager.
Well, not only there, when he was on the Utah Jazz when he first got drafted, he was a hell of a basketball player on both ends of the court. Then he got to Chicago and signed one of those max contracts, and all of a sudden he only had an offensive game around the free throw line and played no defense, and put minimal effort into rebounding. So
I guess he played for the Lakers, right? Like the last year. He came off that amnesty.
I think maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah.
Because he got released on amnesty from the Bulls.
Yep.
And then he came off that waiver to play for the Lakers. Which, what the fuck, Boozer? Like, you played for two of the worst fucking teams ever. The fucking LA Lakers and then the fucking
Those two of the most fantastic franchises in NBA history, son.
What the fuck ever.
Now, granted, he was no part of those fantastic franchises.
Boo the Lake. You know what? When I was in high school, there was all these fuckers. Dude, we lived in Miami. Like, all these fuckers that like were huge bandwagon LA people, and I just wanted to. Oh my god! It made me want to just fucking punch everybody in the face. They'd roll around the school screaming 3-peat and all this. I'm like, what? You didn't even like the Lakers last year. What the fuck is your problem?
Was that when Shaq had gone from Orlando out to LA?
It was when Kobe and them were all fucking.
Okay.
It was gonna be their first three. Yeah, this is when they won the third time in a row. So.
Okay.
Worst fucking basketball team ever.
Oh no.
Was the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan.
The Spurs are actually one of the beneficiaries, or no, the Rockets, I guess maybe. The Rockets and the Spurs. Beneficiaries of Michael Jordan's 2-year baseball career. that interrupted the 6-peating Chicago Bulls.
Michael Jordan had to figure out something else, man. I remember that. I got a Michael Jordan baseball card. He played for the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, he was in their farm team. I think, what was he on the Durham? He was on the Durham team, maybe.
Yeah. So, it was an interesting deal there. I remember him telling, I remember somebody asking him what he was doing. He's like, I've mastered basketball. I'm going to go master another fucking sport. Like, that was exactly what he said.
Well, and you got it, like, if you remember, it was after his father had been murdered on that, North Carolina interstate or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I think he was just, kind of lost in general. because his dad had kind of been his guiding force.
Well, and then he didn't. He retired and then he came back, and then he retired again and came back again, right? Then he retired twice and come back.
Mm-mm. I don't think so.
I don't remember.
Maybe.
Now.
I don't know. He retired once and he came back and he wore number 55 and dropped 55 points at the Garden on the Knicks. Or no, he wore 45 and dropped 55 points in the Garden on the Knicks. And then late in his career, he ended up going to the Wizards and playing small forward. But I don't think that was after retirement. I think that was just money.
What team did he buy? He owns a team now, right?
He owns the Charlotte Hornets, who, when he bought them, were the Charlotte Bobcats. Yep. That's right. And they're actually pretty decent the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah? Okay. So
they made the playoffs last year, and I think that they're in the hunt this year.
Well, good shit.
Yeah, they've been slow getting good because they were very bad when he bought them. But they've gotten there. The worst thing he ever did was take Kwame Brown when he was like a general manager and part owner of the Wizards. Terrible draft pick.
Yep.
Anybody who's a Wizards fan or a Jordan fan knows that probably the worst thing Jordan ever did basketball-wise was the drafting Kwame Brown.
All right, so anything else on sports before we get to the last portion here?
Let's see. Do you want to talk about Rousey's return at all? Her Nunes, they fight this week. Or are we going to talk about that on Thursday night?
We can talk about that on Thursday. I mean, Ronda Rousey's coming back. I think there's enough hype there. I guess there's been a lot of talk about, they call it ring rust, where people are worried about her getting her ass whooped and fighting the person that she's going to fight because of how long she's been out. So, we'll have to see. We can talk more about that on Thursday, though.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, and we'll go over that 207 card, that's next week or this week? It's pretty soon.
I think it's this weekend. I'm pretty sure. I think they're going to try to do it before Christmas. All right, so let's come on real briefly here on what I talked about on the Ring the Bell. So the Electoral College, they voted today. There was this huge poll that the Huffington Post reported, and this, what I'm about to talk about, just reiterates to me why we need a real news source. So the main title of this article was the majority of Americans want the Electoral College to postpone their vote in the wake of this Russian scandal that
which is the acute accusation that they hacked the voting.
Correct.
Right.
So and then they have this huge article, and then they have a link in the article to the poll. So if you go and read that poll, that is an absolute farce and lie, according to that poll that they used, that they sourced all their information off. It was a bunch of bullshit. Not once on there did the majority of people think, not even a little bit did they say that we should wait, postpone anything. Not once on the fucking poll. So again, like I said, it reiterates the fact that this is a bunch of fucking bullshit news, and you have to sift through everything. It's horrible that you have to sift through everything to get the fucking results that you want. I was interested in the article initially because I wanted to see the poll, and it was 1,000 people that they polled between 2 days, December 15th through the 16th, and it was just it was just a lie, a blatant lie. They just took information and twisted it the way they wanted. You can go on there and read the poll. So they're not in any way. There was never a majority of people that wanted the election postponed. Not once on there. There's like 5 questions. So it's just, be careful what news you get, guys, and make sure you sift through it for the right information. Another big story this week was this China stealing this drone sub from the U.S. So I dove in a little deeper the last couple days into this story and found out a bunch of funny things. So the first funny thing...
that they acted like it was abandoned?
No, so if you actually go and like I said, I dug through a bunch of shit, and so let's first talk about real quickly here. Where's this shit at? I want to get it right. So, what this drone sub was doing, and so it was off the South China Sea near the Philippines, and so this is what the U.S. said that this I think it cost $60 million or $6 billion. I can't remember. It's an astronomical amount of money. And the U.S.
That's
Navy,
a lot of money.
again, this is the U.S. Navy. Like, this is our Navy that fights wars in the ocean. You know, this is what this drone sub was doing. They said it was collecting data about the salinity, temperature, and clarity of the water. You want to tell me that the U.S. Navy is worried about the fucking salt water temperature and clarity of water in the South China Sea? Like, that may be all... No. No. Fuck no.
I don't think you spend that much money on a sub to find that out.
Fucking false. Motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? And then, so, it even gets even better. So, China's answer for picking up this thing was... okay, so let's talk about the pickup real quick. So, this USNS Bowditch, this big-ass boat, was coming to pick up this fucking thing. It's like, so you gotta picture it in your mind. This fucking boat trawling through the water is gonna pick this up. And then they said, this is what the U.S. said. They said a Chinese Navy vessel swooped in and fucking stole it from them. Like, what the fuck? Like, I talked about this on Ring the Bell. Like, it's not like there's two dudes on jet skis, like, out in the water, like, later, dudes.
Like a James Bond movie.
Swoop in and... that just... No. What the fuck? It doesn't work that way. Like, if you think about this in your mind, there's just, like, all kinds of red flags start to pop up. Like, oh, no. So, and then the Chinese said that the reason they picked it up was... because they came across a piece of unidentified equipment and they wanted to check it for navigational safety issues.
Right, that was the latest one I heard. Yep.
Like, okay, so if you don't know about this already, there's like millions upon millions of pieces of trash in this that floats around in the ocean. Like, and in fact, there's a certain point in the ocean where there's like it looks like a piece of land where all this trash is gathered. So for them to say that shit, like for them to say that, you know, a size of I don't remember how big this thing was, but imagine it's the size of a big dresser in your house, the biggest dresser, like a fucking, you know, armoire. Like, there's fucking other shit laying all over the sea that they're not, I'm promising they're not swooping in, as the U.S. says, and picking it up to check for navigational safety issues. Like, so, it's just like another red flag. Like, what the fuck? So, and then, I guess, the Chinese government got all out of hand because they didn't like how the U.S. was hyping up all this shit. And this is exactly what they said. They said, during this process, the U.S. side's unilateral and open hyping up is inappropriate and is not beneficial to the smooth resolution of this issue. We express regret at this. Like, I'd be fucking pissed too if Bo Machado came running by my house and picked up my ride. This is exactly how it would be. It'd be like if me and Bo, I own a Jeep, Bo drives a Hummer, and if I had a riding lawnmower, even if, okay, say I had a push mower, and I left it in the middle of the yard, and Bo comes by and swoops up and picks it up real quick, tosses it in the back of his Hummer, and he says, oh, he was picking it up because he's worried about the kids playing around with it in the neighborhood. Like,
just wanted to make sure it works right.
That's exactly what you have to think about in this situation. Like, he wanted to it'd be like Bo coming by, picking up, stealing my lawnmower, and wanting to know, we want to make sure there's gasoline in it. Like, what the fuck? Like, you fucking stupid fucks. Like,
or wait, you got a fantastic mountain bike, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Like, so it'd be like
make sure there's air in the tires.
Right, that's right.
He comes by and fucking picks up my $6,000 mountain bike. And,
right,
I want to make sure there's air in the tires. Yo, dude, how fucking stupid do you think we are? Like, anyways, long story short, they're gonna give back the thing. And I'm sure, you know, I'm sure they tore it to pieces and looked at it. A couple of years ago, I don't remember if it was a drone or some kind of military aircraft that the Chinese got from the U.S. I think they gave everything back except one piece inside of it when this happened several years ago. So you can't tell me, like, anybody that's watched any of the Edward Snowden movies or any of that shit, that these people aren't like, you know, that they took that thing out of the ocean, took it back to some fucking military laboratory, and tore it the fuck apart as fast as they could to figure out what was inside.
And duplicated everything they could.
Oh, absolutely. You know, of course they're gonna give it back. You know, they'll probably give it back with some kind of fucking confetti built inside of it somewhere to be like, gotcha, bitch.
They're right. There's some kind of bug or something.
So, you know, and then of course your boy Donald Trump, you know, he tweeted out that it was, you know,
Unprecedented.
Yeah, oh yeah, he misspelt it, and I put that one actually on the Ring the Bell today. Like you can fucking go on there and read. They took it off like 88 minutes after and replaced it with the correct spelling, but he had a misspelling in his a faux pas on his fucking Twitter. So yeah, so some experts are saying that China did this as a big like, in your face to Trump business, like. Because
Over
Trump
Taiwan.
Trump called Taiwan and spoke to them, and the U.S. is known for tippy-toeing around that issue because China doesn't recognize Taiwan as a country. In Trump, if Trump, like I said, I'm ringing the bell. Like if Trump's got your number or if they want to call him, he's got a fucking phone and he's gonna answer it. That's just kind of the thing the stance that Trump has taken lately. So. Anyways, they gave it back. I think it's probably something much more military involved than fucking checking saltwater temperature and clarity of water in the South China Sea. So,
That'd be my guess.
You heard it here first, guys. Don't buy into this BS. Like, again, with your news, like, if you just read this fucking article that was on Gizmodo, I posted it all on Ring the Bell. Like,
what's the minimal amount that it cost? Let's just say the minimal amount that they spent on that drone submarine.
What's the minimal amount?
Yeah, like $60 million.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, does anybody believe a government that at times denies climate change would spend that much to find out the temperature of the water in the South China Sea?
You don't think they got that on that fucking USNS boat? Like, there's not some kind of sensor they can just stick down off the boat?
Right?
Like, they're there already. They got some biologist on board that can stick her hand in the water with a cup full, oh, the salinity temperature today is 97 degrees, or, the water's really clear today here, Colonel. The fuck are you talking? I was in the military, and I know we don't spend that kind of money on bullshit like that. So, it's just fucking flabbergasting to me that we want to fucking think about that shit. All right, so we'll move on real quick. This last one, I think this is funny because I like tech news, and I'm always looking for the next best thing. So we have this lady named Kim Commando, or Commando, however you want to say it, and she is she has her own show called the Kim Commando Show. She's the self-proclaimed American. What the fuck is it even called? I almost shit my pants when I read it earlier. Self-proclaimed. Let me see here. She's the self-proclaimed American digital goddess. Like, that's what she calls herself.
Okay.
So she has her own show, her own website, and she's featured sometimes on Fox News. So she has this article that says the 5 things you didn't know your tablet can do. Okay, so one of the things that she put on there was you can use your tablet as a remote control for your TV. Bitch, what the fuck that is not news in 2016. Like I said on fucking Ring the Bell, this phone is 4 years old that I own. 4 fucking years old. And it comes preloaded with an app such for that. This is not fucking news. And then, so another one was that she said, I bet you didn't know that you could transfer files wirelessly from your tablet to your computer. What fucking world is this bitch living in? We've been transferring files, whether it be wirelessly or fucking wired, since the first Apple fucking phone. The Motorola, whatever it was, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. You've had to this is not fucking new news. What the fuck? I just flabbergasted.
I will say, when I was reading the article, and I thought, hey, I know all this information. This can't be new.
I said in the Ring the Bell too. I was like, my 2-year-old daughter. So another one was you can share your photos and videos to your TV. My 2-year-old daughter knows how to fucking turn my iPad on and AirPlay shit from the iPad to the TV. She's 2 fucking years old. Bitch, get a new fucking job. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is fucking bozo news. I don't know if you were directed to write this or not, but this is not fucking new news. We've been doing this shit for years. If you have a Chromecast, a smart TV, wireless, oh my god, like Bluetooth, for God's sakes. It's just not fucking news. I couldn't believe it popped up in my news feed, my RSS feed, as brand new tech news, and I about fucking threw my phone across the room. So I could not believe that this is what we give people as their tech news. Find a news source, for God's sakes, and don't trust Fox News for nothing. So that's my rant about that shit. I couldn't fucking believe it, so.
It's a good rant. You just said to not trust the network for anything.
Oh, I absolutely stand behind that too. Do not trust Fox News for anything.
Jesus.
Nothing. If they said the Pentagon got hit again, I would fucking second guess it because of who it fucking came from. Any of those news networks. If they had rolling footage of it, it said live on it, I would question it. Because they have lied to us for so fucking long now. I don't know how anybody can trust it.
Now, would it depend on the production of the video? Like, if it's Hollywood production, would you be like, I know that they've created this? Whereas if it's like chalky video, you're like, hey, that might be real.
Well, so let's just go back to one thing what you and I probably disagree on. That okay. So the moon landing. I believe that shit was fucking filmed in a fucking Hollywood basement. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers would tend to agree with me because they put that shit in one of their fucking songs. So, and I really think that, what's his name? Stanley Kubrick, I think that is the guy who directed the moon landings, like film footage. They even did a movie about it. I think Space Odyssey was their first run on it. I think it was like a big test run. There's lots of shit that backs me up in that, and that's not like some huge conspiracy theory. There's lots of proof. I also worked
So do you think we just haven't been there, or do you think we don't have the ability to be there?
Oh, I think we have the ability. I don't think we've ever been there, because nobody can explain. You can't explain the Van Allen radiation belt and how people wouldn't die passing through it. And then there's lots of shit floating around in space, and we use technology that is inside a. Now get this. This is like everybody knows what a TI-83 is, right? Like a Texas Instrument 83 calculator. The one that you can play games on, has graphs.
I thought that was a robot on Star Wars, but okay.
TI-83, big graphing calculator you're required to have in college and high school now. That's the technology. That exact technology was in the fucking aircraft that we supposedly sent to the moon. Like, no. Didn't fucking happen. There's no way those guys went through the Van Allen radiation belt and are still around to talk about it 30 years later. This didn't fucking happen. So. But I want to be wrong so bad because I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid. That's what I wanted to be. And like I said, I want to be fucking wrong. But there's too many fucking, too many fucking things pointing the other direction.
So there's too many plot holes?
Well, there's just too many fucking wrongs. I really think it was filmed. I think it was faked. I think it was done for, what do they call it? Fucking...
Propaganda?
Propaganda. Look, that's exactly right. I think it's propaganda.
Because of the space race we were in with Russia?
The US was in a dire time with the fucking space race, and we needed a fucking goddamn break. So we filmed a break, goddammit.
Could be.
So, yeah. And then, of course, I worked at Cape Kennedy with NASA, and that is when I worked there, that's when I changed my opinion about everything. So, I won't go into any detail. Please don't ask me, because I'm not going to tell you. But yeah, when I worked there, after working there, I changed my mind. Fuck no, we've never been to the fucking moon. I think we've been to space. I know we've been to space, but not to the moon. So,
okay.
Well, that's just my thought.
Yeah, I don't have a valid debate.
Everybody in my fucking family that knows that I don't think they all roll their eyes and think I'm fucking crazy. And that's fine. I've accepted that. There's, I can't argue that point over.
So, are there aliens in Roswell?
There's no way that you can sit here and tell me that we're the only people in this fucking universe. So, okay. We are not fucking special. I don't need to go into that again, but there's no, how fucking special.
Well, I think we are special. Maybe we're not the only beings.
How the fuck do you think we're the only people? Who the fuck do you think we are, though? We're the smartest? No, fuck no. I believe that there is alien life. So.
No, I agree. I think so too. That's
There's just no way that in all this vast space around us that we're the only people. Like, that's just crazy. Like, if you think that, like, you think your fucking shit doesn't stink. That's basically what you're saying. So, and speaking about space, you went and saw the new Star Wars Rogue One,
I did. I
and
did.
it's on par to be the 12th highest opening ever. So, you thought it was good?
I enjoyed it. So there are definitely things that in it that I would have changed, but I don't want to be a spoiler for anybody, so I won't really say any of those things. So there were some old friends that popped up. You saw R2 and 3PO for a moment, and of course our favorite villain Vader, who in his minimal screen time is a monster.
I have not seen
So
it. I will probably wait for it to come out on DVD or Blu-ray,
I think
whatever
you
you
should
want to
see
see.
it, man.
Now, too many people that I know that I value their opinions on movies were disappointed with it. So I probably will not waste my money and time in a movie
I
theater.
will say I can see how people could be disappointed by it. I just did not feel disappointed. I thought, it was a good movie going experience. Um, but I could see how the movie could leave people deflated and disappointed in things that happen.
I knew this was gonna fucking happen. That's why I was not hyped up about this movie. It was my first Star Wars movie that I was just not like craving to go see on opening night, and so I don't feel like I've been, I'm not bummed that that people are disappointed. Like I just had this backwards ass feeling that it was just not going to be what it was
It's
supposed to be.
still a really good movie, dude. I mean, in
That's
my
I,
opinion, like
yeah, that's good.
as
I'm
part
glad
of like
people.
the Star Wars canon, I think it's still a good movie. It makes sense. It fills in some gaps that were there between things. Darth Vader has a one-liner that's pretty enjoyable.
What happened to the rebel plans?
No, no, it's much better than that. It's much better than that.
I
Um,
remember the first time I saw that movie, Star Wars: A New Hope. I was probably, I don't know, 6 years old, 7 years old, and I thought this motherfucker is the baddest dude I've ever fucking seen in my life. One-handed, picking people up and choking them to death, tossing them around, and then he got fucking better. I saw Empire, and he was fucking. He didn't even have to touch him. He was just killing people with his fucking thoughts and his
oh yeah.
fingers, man.
Oh, like he's not in this a lot, but he goes beast mode when he is after some folks, and I mean, it is really like you haven't seen Vader throw down like this before.
Wow.
And I
Is
know
it?
it's
You
because
think
special
that?
effects and things are better now,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, you can see the guys that are in the room with him, like literally, they
Shitting their
know they're
pants.
not yeah, they know they're not getting out of there.
So, is Princess Leia in the movie?
She does make an appearance in the movie, indeed.
Cool.
So does what's Peter Cushing's character? Is that Tarkal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The guy who controls the Death Star.
Yeah.
Um,
He's
so
not
they
alive anymore,
CGI'd
though,
him.
right?
No, no, yeah, they CGI'd him and Leia. So they look like they did in the original Star Wars trilogy. Um,
Also, she looks young.
yes, she's young in it. Yep, yep.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So when this movie's set.
Yeah, it's
So
set before the New Hope. Yeah.
yeah, so it's basically like a bridge movie between the what was it, Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So this is kind of the movie
Does
that
it?
lands
Do you
in
think there's
between
more
those.
to be said, or does it end like where you could go right into the New Hope movie? Or do you think there'll
I
be
don't know.
does there need to be another movie, or does there need to be two more movies in between that?
No, well, I mean, they could make multiple movies set in that era, but as far as connecting those movies, I think
This is the
this
one
movie's
movie that connects them.
yeah, this movie connects those movies.
So I've heard that that possibly Boba Fett is going to get a movie, which fans would go ballistic over.
Han Solo is going to get his own movie.
Yep, I've heard that, which is a bummer because we all know that fucking Harrison Ford is not going to be in it. So he has
Yeah,
walked
but
away from the franchise.
it's the young Solo, so they had to put a new person in there anyway. You know what I mean?
They need to make Shia LaBeouf do it. God damn it! Let's just keep the original
No, they
Lucasfilms.
picked the kid. I forget who it is.
Oh, they
I
already
saw.
picked somebody. Fuck.
Yeah, yeah. Let me find it. I can find it real quick on here.
I think they're talking about the Wookiees are gonna get a movie. because they're apparently in one of
Not the Star Wars Holiday Special.
no, like they're actually there was a huge Wookiee war apparently fought against.
Okay.
I don't remember who. So they fought against another race, and then maybe the Ewoks will get a movie. I think they've already had their movie though. Come on, let's be real.
Alden in Ehrenreich is the new Han Solo.
Alden, what's it? Oh, okay.
Ehrenreich, it looks like.
This fucking sleazy fuck. He played in that movie Hail Caesar. That was a good fucking movie too.
Yeah, it says he's gonna. You don't think he looks like he could be Han Solo? I think he looks like he could be Han Solo.
Do you know who Han Solo is? Enough said.
I do. But I think
Han
this guy
Solo was
looks
my
like
fucking hero as a kid. I mean, it was Han Solo. I knew Han Solo as he was fucking Indiana Jones and Han Solo. Like, that dude was untouchable back in the day.
He is a cool motherfucker.
He was the motherfucker is what he was to me. I don't know. I was a kid though, so.
Well, he was a space cowboy. He was like a gun. He was like a gunslinging gambling.
I'm motherfucking
like,
Doc
space.
Holliday. Like, this is me.
Yeah. You know.
So, all right, we're way over our hour. Let's just real quick. Let's everybody keep warm. The average American temperature right now is 16 motherfucking degrees. So everybody wrap up. Should be getting to see a little bit warmer weather the next couple days. Those on the East Coast will have to deal with it for looks like for a few more days. But stay warm. The holidays are coming. I don't know that we'll have a Thursday show. Maybe we'll have to see how everybody's schedule here works out. Bo's got some family coming in town. So, and I am, I think I'm moving. So, I think I'm gone. I found a place. I think I'm temporarily going to move somewhere for a year. Circle the wagons. So, that was what I was all upset about this morning. So.
Okay.
So, I think I'm going to be moving just to another part of Wyoming for a year, which I don't really want to do, but it looks like I'm going to have to do for about a year. So, but more on that. Maybe I'll get out of it. We'll see. So, anyways, this is the Slightly Nocturnal Show. I'm Doc Holliday. That's Bo Machado. Anything you want to say, Bo, before we get out of here?
No. Everybody stay warm. It's even here in Myrtle Beach. It's only 36 degrees right now. So
it's motherfucking cold.
Not a fan of this cold weather.
If you're new, sub to us on YouTube. Like the channel. Like the video. Comment. Go
follow
us on
Twitter, Facebook. That's all those places.
Instagram. Myself and both.
Tell a friend. Tell a child. Tell a parent.
That's right.
Don't tell a child unless they're a teenager.
To come listen to us.
That's right. So. Let us, share what you like, share what you don't. Be interactive. We're going to start having guests if there's particular guests you guys know of in the podcast world that you would like to try to see us, visit
Reach
with.
Out. We can get it. We can get it set up.
Let us know that kind of thing. And other than that, man, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to the next time.
Yep. We'll see you guys later. Think for yourself. Motherfucking question everything.
That's right.
Later.
Catch you on the flip side.